How long have you been training?
So I started almost 10 years ago. I will have my 10th anniversary on the September. I started in BOHEMA in Akademia Szermierzy. Previously, I trained in reenactment groups, and also I was just fighting with the sticks with the guys when I was like 14. And also I practiced stage fencing. So that was my beginnings.
In your years of training, have you had any injuries
Fuck.
that you had to recover from?
Not really. Maybe I was a bit overtrained and I had like muscle soreness, but I do a lot not to get injured. So I have like training and physical preparation, which makes me like generally a bit healthier and my joints or body. So I try to avoid it. Once I had broken finger fighting with padded sabers. And that was only one serious injury in HEMA, which I had. Once also I had very strong hit to the ear from Sergei Kultayev, after which I didn't hear for 2 weeks or something like that. But after that, everything came to be fine, so.
Good. Yes, Sergei can be very
yeah, but best regards for him.
damaging. How often you train now? And you train other people as well? So how do you combine training for yourself and teaching your students?
Yeah, this is difficult part in like trainer and sportsman life. And so I try to keep my trainings, and this is like 10 or 12 trainings a week usually. I have physical preparation, I have fencing classes, sometimes small other activities like box, which is like just a little bit for having something different. And I also practice for improve a bit my stunt performance, so acrobatics and stuff like that. But before Fechtberg, of course, I was focused on fencing. So I do my own trainings, but also I'm leading trainings. And I also have it like dozen a week. So I'm constantly tired. Of course, I'm trying not to overtrain, but this is a difficult physical work.
In your fencing style and what you teach your students, do you follow a certain fact book or like a number of sources, or is it like synthetic approach?
So in academy, generally we mix it because fencing is like alive. So we have to do it in movement. So sometimes techniques from the treatise aren't the best for the competition, but also it's not that we ignore history. Both me and Rafa, we are historians by education. So we base mostly on Fiore dei Liberi. Fiore has very good descriptions of his techniques and very good pictures. So we mixed Fiore dei Liberi with Olympic fencing methodology, and it gives us a lot of fun trying to use like fencing tactical wheel, but using medieval techniques. So this is what we do mostly.
Do you practice wrestling?
I practiced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 5 years, so I don't do it right now, unfortunately, because it's a great sport. But I feel quite comfortable if someone wants to grapple, but it's not many opportunities in the competition, because like it's difficult to score a point during the wrestling. I'm not very good in wrestling standing, but yeah, no, my main activity was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the past.
What technique do you like to use yourself?
Difficult to say. Usually it's kind of many, but I like to prepare my attack with footwork. I'm not rushing immediately during the beginning of the fight. I like to check what my opponent is going to offer for me, and then choose the tactic to his approach. So it's not one technique. I believe in preparation and seeing what will happen. But of course, I like thrusts a lot.
If you were able to give your younger self an advice when you just started doing HEMA, what would that be?
So definitely doing more cardio. That's something which I discovered maybe a year ago, that this really changed the game. Last 1.5 years, I started to work with physical preparation coach. And I never did like much cardio. I did like sparrings and stuff like that. And now when I'm not that young competitor now, I feel that cardio is changing a lot. I would just advise to have fun, not to worry too much. We are sometimes winning, sometimes losing, so just keeping the work.
You have participated in many different tournaments. I saw you last year on Helsinki, and the rule set and the approach to fencing, I would say, different there. Do you change your approach depending on the tournament?
Yeah, definitely it's important to adapt to different rule sets. So we are changing the preparations a bit, of course, sparrings, but also techniques. Previously, the Polish rule set was completely different from Scandinavian. We had just long afterblow without priorities. So every hit was very dangerous. So we have different preparations for Turnhout, different for Nordics, different for Polish rule sets. Yeah.
How much time during the training, when you train the students, not yourself, do you divide between physical preparation, like technique, cardio, whatever? Like, what are the blocks?
So our trainings last 1 hour and a half, and usually like 15 minutes is general warm-up, which includes some running, so this is small cardio, some basic positions like plank, squat, lunges. So this is kind of general preparation, but I also don't push them too much with like push-ups and jumps and stuff like that, because I want them to have energy for fencing. After this general warm-up, we have some footwork, some specific warm-up, something with weapon, some games, which is also a bit kind of cardio usually. We do different things to give people diversity, like sometimes wrestling, sometimes catching the balls and games like that. And after that we have techniques, which is usually half of an hour, and sparrings, because we know that they like to fight. They would like to have some time just to hit each other with the sticks. So half of an hour of sparrings too. So yeah, I would say usually half of an hour for warm up with footwork, half of an hour for techniques, half of an hour for sparrings.
What are you working on now for yourself? Do you want to improve something in particular?
Yeah, good question. I need to ask myself right now. Generally, always I wanted to improve my fencing performance. I like to generally improving simple actions. When I see, for example, thrust on the video, I see that, damn it, it could be done better. But I also try not to think too much about perfectionism isn't healthy, let's say. But yeah, generally I try to improve myself as a competitor. I try also to gain some new skills, as I said before, like boxing, some acrobatics, to maybe do something else with the swords, like stunts and this kind of stuff. And yeah, today I lost the fight, so I think this is also a good lesson for me, that we can lose the fight, that I have to just take it and not overwhelm with this. So I think this is a lesson for me and for every competitor.
Actually, in those 10 years, has there been a moment when you felt like you're stuck? You're not improving much?
I had few moments like that I felt that I'm training but I'm not improving. And every time I decided to change something, for example, to add another individual lesson with other trainer, to find a physical preparation coach. That was big boost for me. So every time I felt I stuck, I changed something in my preparation, and that was great result. So I also recommend to change something sometimes.
It actually combines well with your last answer. Yes. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for interview.
By the way, I personally invite you to visit Prague this September. We will have a tournament called BOHEMA. It will be a tournament by Nordic rules, let's say, with afterblow. We will have many participants from the north, and for anyone all around the world, we will be happy to see you.